Hi friends, this is Miss McAuliffe and today I'm going to read to you a book that's titled A House for Hermit Crab. It's a book that's written and illustrated by Eric Carle. Time to move on, said Hermit Crab one day in January. I've grown too big for this little shell. He had felt safe and snug in his shell, but now it was too snug. Hermit Crab stepped out of the shell and onto the floor of the ocean. But it was frightening out in the open ocean without a shell to hide in. What if a big fish comes to attack me? He thought. I must find a new house and very soon. This is Hermit Crab coming out of his shell. He had outgrown his shell. He needs to find a bigger one. Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside it to see how it felt. And it felt just right. But it looks so plain, thought Hermit Crab. He had plans. In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. How beautiful you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and live on my house? I'll come, whispered a small sea anemone. Gently, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. So now he has one friend, a sea anemone friend. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the sea floor. How handsome you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to decorate my house? I would, signaled a little sea star. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his house. Now he has two friends, a sea anemone and a sea star. In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move. How pretty you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful? I would, creaked a crusty coral. Gingerly, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it onto his shell. Hermit Crab has three friends now, a sea anemone, a sea star, and a crusty coral. In June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving a neat path behind them. How tidy and hard-working you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and help clean my house? I would, offered one of the sea snails. Happily, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. Hermit Crab has four friends now, the sea anemone, the crusty coral, the sea star, and the snail. But he was not done, because in July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. How fierce you look, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to protect my house? I would, answered the spiky sea urchin. Gratefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it near his shell. He has five friends now, a sea anemone, a crusty coral, the starfish, or sea star, the snail, and the sea urchin. Do you think he's done making friends? No. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed. It was very dark. It's so dark here, thought Hermit Crab. How dim it is, murmured the sea anemone. How gloomy it is, whispered the starfish. How murky it is, complained the coral. I can't see, said the snail. It's like nighttime, said the sea urchin. Looks like the friends were not too happy to enter the dark forest of seaweed. But I think they're in for a surprise. Yep. In September, Hermit Crab spotted a school of lanternfish. How cool is that? They glow in the dark. They were darting through the dark water. How bright you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to light up our house? I would, replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. Look at all the friends now. The hermit crab has a sea anemone friend right here, a crusty coral, the sea star or starfish, the sea urchin, the snail, and the lanternfish is swimming close by. Do you think Hermit Crab is done with his house? Well, not quite, almost. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. How sturdy you are, said Hermit Crab. Would you mind if I rearranged you? Not at all, answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up one by one with his claw and built a little wall around his shell, kind of like a little fort. Now my house is perfect, said Hermit Crab. He feels satisfied. He's happy. His house is surely not plain anymore. He's got so many friends. The sea urchin protects him. The lanternfish gives him light. And he is one happy Hermit Crab, as you can see right there. But in November, problem. In November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too snug, too small. What happened to Hermit Crab? Little by little over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Soon he would have to find another bigger home. Oh, but he had come to love his friends. The sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and the smooth pebbles. They have been so good to me, thought Hermit Crab. They are like my family. How can I ever leave them? Well, as you can see, the Hermit Crab has grown, and that shell doesn't fit anymore. He has to move out and find a bigger shell. In December, a smaller Hermit Crab passed by. I have outgrown my shell, she said. Would you know of a place for me? I have outgrown my shell too, said the big Hermit Crab. I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise me to be good to all my friends. I promise, said the little crab. So looks like this little one has outgrown his shell, and he is looking for a bigger shell. And this Hermit Crab has outgrown his shell, and he needs to move out. And he offered it to the little one, but he made him promise that he will be good to all his friends. And the little crab agreed. Well, the following January, Hermit Crab stepped out of his shell, and the little crab moved in. Couldn't stay in that shell forever, he thought, and he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid now. He was all grown up. He was ready for his next adventure. He soon spied the perfect house, a big, empty shell. It looked, well, so plain. But sponges, he thought, barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. And so the hermit crab moved in, and he started a new adventure. He's gonna start looking for friends to share the shell with and to share his life with. And that's the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed it, my friends. That was A House for Hermit Crab by Eric Carle.